In this episode, we'll take a look at timecode with the Ambient NanoLockit. First of all, what is the purpose of timecode? Timecode allows you to record audio separate from your camera on a high-quality audio recorder, or multiple cameras and sync them all together with almost no effort whatsoever in post. There are additional benefits for very large budget films, for example, when you're shooting a very CGI heavy type of shot, or if you are recording 3D, those require that the cameras be very tightly synced, and so it's also very helpful in those cases. In this particular case, we'll show you how to do Freerun Timecode, which is a very common way to do things, where the timecode clocks continue to run even when you're not recording. Let's start at the end and work our way back. Here's the magic. I bring my video clips and audio clips into Final Cut Pro 10 or Premiere, and syncing is super fast and super simple. I just saved hours of work for sizable projects. But your question is, how do we get here? How do we make that magic work? Well, to do the syncing, each recording device, each camera, and each audio recorder need a very accurate clock attached to them, which records the timecode each time you press record. These very accurate clocks are called timecode generators. In this case, we're going to be using the Ambient Recording's NanoLockit. For that to work, each of these generators need to first be synced up, and then I attach one to each of the recording devices. In our case, this professional audio recorder, Sound Devices 633, actually has an ambient timecode generator built into it. But if I were using a recorder that didn't have an inbuilt timecode generator, I would need an additional NanoLockit for it as well. So first I turn on one of the timecode generators that I will use as the master clock. This is the one to which you sync all of the other clocks. It's critical that I first tell the master clock generator the frame rate which the cameras will be shooting so that the sync works okay once we get into post. In this case, we're shooting at 23.976 or 23.98. So I set that here in the Sound Devices 633 for its inbuilt timecode generator. If I were using a NanoLockit as the master clock, which I could do, I would connect it to my laptop and run the Ambient Lockit Toolbox app, which allows you to set the frame rate there. Then I sync the other NanoLockits to the master clock. First, I use the appropriate cable to jam sync the NanoLockit to the master clock in the Sound Devices 633. It takes just a second. Now this generator in my recorder and the NanoLockit are perfectly in sync. Then to sync the next NanoLockit, we can do that wirelessly by just pressing the green button on the first NanoLockit, and then in a second or two, the two NanoLockits communicate and they are perfectly synced to each other. So now, all three timecode generators have the exact same time. When I press record on the audio recorder, it begins writing the timecode timestamps to the audio file every frame. Then when I press record on each camera, the video files also have timecode written to the files. Then in post, all the app needs to do is sync up the audio and video files, or when shooting with two cameras, also syncing up the two camera files, to match up the timecode frames. The cameras and audio recorder do not need to be started at the exact same time because the timecode is written continuously to the audio and video files. The app just lines up the timecode frames. Most professional level cameras and audio recorders have dedicated timecode inputs. In these cases, connecting a NanoLockit is super simple. You just need the appropriate cable to make it work. But what about consumer and prosumer cameras and audio recorders? Can you connect a NanoLockit to them and make this work? Yes, you can. How? Instead of connecting your NanoLockit to a dedicated timecode input, you connect it to a microphone input and actually record timecode to an audio track. Here's what it sounds like. Then in post, you just need to use an app which can read the audio timecode and convert it to file or metadata timecode. Then Final Cut Pro or Premiere can sync up your video and audio files. Some apps which can convert audio timecode to file timecode are DaVinci Resolve, Avid Media Composer, and Tentacle Sync Studio. So that's timecode. Now let's talk specifically about the NanoLockits. These NanoLockits have some really great features. First of all, and most importantly, are they accurate? Well, we did a test where we ran the timecode synced up to the Sound Devices 633, and we ran it for 8 hours and 10 minutes. We found that they were still perfectly in sync to the frame level. So yes, they're accurate. The NanoLockits are very small and very lightweight. This makes it super simple to attach to a camera rig, and it doesn't really get in the way, which is really nice. Great battery life on the NanoLockit as well. You can get 35 hours or possibly even more. I have not burned through an entire battery yet, and we probably have somewhere around, I would guess, 20 some hours. So you can easily get through a production day on a single charge. And to charge them up, you just plug in this micro USB cable, connect it to your laptop, to your computer, whatever, and you can charge it back up. As we saw earlier, the wireless sync works beautifully, and that really speeds things up when you're getting ready for a shoot. Again, a very much appreciated feature. In terms of build quality, the NanoLockit is top-notch. The case is this very, I think it's aluminum. It's some sort of metal. It's very tough. It doesn't flex at all, which is really nice. Also has these recessed buttons to prevent you from pressing them or accidentally bumping them during a shoot and messing up the settings. They're not only recessed, but you generally have to hold them down for a couple of seconds to activate them. So again, the chances of bumping those very low. The antenna is short enough to stay out of the way, and it's reinforced in a nice way, so it seems like it's pretty tough and it will hold up nicely over time. The Lemo Connector serves double duty, which is nice. It can be used to sync up to another timecode generator. It's also the output when you connect it to your camera or other audio recorder. So it's a locking mechanism, so that's very nice. So again, you won't accidentally pull that out in the midst of a shoot. The NanoLockit also comes with a cable that will connect to the NanoLockit itself, and on the other end, it has a 3.5mm TRS cable, so you can plug it into most DSLRs or mirrorless cameras. It also includes hook tape that allows you to connect it to a camera, or in my case, I connect it to my battery. It is often known as Velcro by its trade name, and that's a really handy feature as well. The NanoLockits are also part of Ambient's larger timecode system. You can, for example, connect them up to a master locket, which can communicate with them wirelessly, so not only can it sync, but you can also control them with an iPad app. So overall, there is a look at the NanoLockit and Freerun Timecode. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. And if you've not already subscribed, make sure you do that. And we'll be sure to get you more great videos on how to improve your lighting and sound for video. Talk to you soon.